Welcome, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to Shoctober, day 11. We are back into the legs. Today you are going to need a mini band. I like to use these little blue ones. They're nice and tight and make all those pulls for your abductors very effective. You feel it and burn pretty quickly. And then I'm going to be using a 35-pound kettlebell for my squats, deadlifts, and lunges. Feel free to use a dumbbell, two dumbbells, whatever works well for you, even a barbell if you have access to that. And we're going to go ahead and drop onto the ground on our hands and knees. So take a little bit wider or more lengthened base of support than you normally do on your hands and knees. Reach back, slide your shoulder blades down, spread your fingertips out nice and wide, and go ahead and curl your toes under so you can kind of get that stretch through the bottom of the feet. I'm going to enjoy going barefoot today. I like to go barefoot as often as possible just to get a little bit of extra stretch through the bottoms of the feet. They support a lot going on in our daily lives. So it's good to get them out of shoes if possible, if your feet can maintain that. If not, maybe reach out to me and we can start to learn what we can do to get your feet stronger and healthier so that they can support you without all the cushion and support in a shoe. All right, hinge back. We're going to go into that child's pose. Grab the core, slide forward, tuck your glutes, open the chest. We're going to go one more like that. Inhale back, exhale forward. Pay attention to what's going on with your upper back. Those shoulder blades drive in and set in and hold support for everything moving on through the shoulder joint. All right, we're going to go up into our downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, drop one heel and then the other. Push your chest back toward the thighs. Pull your belly button in strong, strong. Go ahead and look left and right and up and down. Just make sure that your head and neck are loose. We are going into the legs, like I said, so we want to get lots of stretch and opening through the hamstrings. Level both feet off. Push into those hands a bit more. See if you can hide your heels behind your ankles. Keep taking those deep breaths of air. Make sure you stay relaxed through the neck and shoulders. You should feel the work in your upper back and the core. All right, take a deep inhale. Exhale, lift your left leg as high as you possibly can. Get a big, big, big stretch through the hips. And then we're going to bring that left leg forward, outside your left hand. Drop your hips in nice and deep. Let that little stretch happen here for a second. And then we're going to push into the hands and bring the right leg forward, outside your right hand, and then drop into a little low squat. If you need a hinge left and right, feel free. Just open those hips up, lift the chest, push your elbows into the knees. This is such a great pose to hit up a few times every day. All right, plant back into your hands, and we're going to go back through that right leg, back through the left, up into that downward facing dog. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then we're going to inhale and bring that right leg up high, 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 high. Stretch through those hip joints. And then grabbing the core, bring your right leg outside your right hand. Stretch that back, left hip flexor, front inner thigh. And then bring that left leg up and sink down into your squat again. All right, so we're going to be starting with our band. We are going to be starting with a banded plank. So we'll put our band around our high ankle, low calf. If you find that that's a little bit too intense for you at this point in time, put the band up above your knees. So the higher that it is on the legs, the easier it is to kind of get the band moved without shifting in the pelvis. So that's the thing I want us to watch for. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. A lot of times we just focus on what the moving part is, right? Whatever's moving, that's kind of where our focus goes. But we really need to start with our focus in the core and the glutes and the back to support the pelvis. So same thing here. Don't worry about what kind of range and angle and pace you get with your band. What really matters is that you can stabilize and hold through the pelvis while you're also moving the feet. All right, so you're going to come into a high plank position. If this is too much for you, if you need to stay on your hands and knees or a plank doesn't work for you, do go ahead and move that band above your knees, and then you're just going to do a little clamshell opening here. I guess you could also leave it low, but it's probably a little better to put above your knees. All right, so we're going to come up into a high plank, shoulders up over those fingertips. Tuck your tailbone. Remember I said that one of the most important things, or the most important thing first, is to make sure that the pelvis is stable. So we're going to step the right leg wide and then back. You do not want to ever let there be slack on the band. So we're definitely getting into the core, and then we're getting into those abductors, which are those little muscles on the upper outer side of the glute and your glute medius. 6, 7, 8, hold flexion through that core. And here's our 10. Okay, plant onto the right foot, switch to the left. Watch those hips. See if you can keep them as stable and still as possible. Lock the belly. 6. You've got to use your glutes and your quads along with the core to help keep the pelvis stable. 10. All right, we're going to flip it over onto the back, and we're going to put our legs straight up. If you have super tight hamstrings, getting the legs straight up might not work. Feel free to keep your legs bent. Get your low back to push into the ground. Pull the belly button down. Okay, so we are getting still into the abductors, but our focus here is going to be, a big focus is still going to be that core, that low flexion in the belly. So pull your feet wide and then back together. We're going to go for 20. This isn't bouncing. This is slow and controlled. We're just at 5. Flex those toes down toward your knees. Spread across your collarbones. Push the backs of the shoulders into the ground. 9, 10. Feel the core. The core is what's holding those feet back. 4. Make sure your toes aren't rotating, right? So we're just pulling from those hip joints, flexing into the thighs. 18, 19, and 20. All right, bring it up, and we're going to come all the way to standing, and we're going to hit up a lateral step. Again, watch your pelvis. Sit back, small little hip hinge, knees are bent. Make sure the core stays strong. Step that one leg wide. See if you can keep it from tapping when it comes in. So just tap wide and not when you come back to the center. Keep tension on that band. You are, your body weight is on the left leg. So you're not hinging in that upper body. 12, 13. Find more core, more chest lift. 19, 20. So you have more burn on your supporting side rather than your moving side. Watch that your knee stays in line with the toes, and then that moving toe is going to want to rotate out, but make sure it's staying pointed kind of slightly in, because we want to keep that work in the meads, right? Those glute meads. It's really, really important to keeping knee health. Keeps those knees lined up where they need to be. 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, now we get a little lateral jump. We'll go ahead and move the arms with it. Little jumping jack. 3, 4. We'll go to 20. 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, back down. We get to go another round, starting from our plank taps. Set up that high plank, ready. Tap 1, 2, 3. Your stability is as important as the moving side. 8, 9, 10. Keep the hips level. Find work in the core. 7, 10. All right, rotate around. Lock deep into that belly. Flex your feet. Get that pull. Remember, we're not rushing through here. Transition time can be quick, but our actual movements right here, we're not bouncing. You're controlling. You're pushing into that spread, and then you're controlling as the feet come back together. Lock the core. Pull that low belly down. 15, 16, 19, 20. Perfect. Come on up. We have our lateral steps. All right. Plant on one leg. Take that step. 2, 20 per side. 7. Find where you want to get the work. 'Check in with that core. Make sure you're not shifting. 17, 18, 19, 20. Other side. Whee! These should burn quick. 9. Keep that lifted chest. Find it all. 16, 17, 19, 20. Here we go, jumping jacks. This is it, our last set. Tuck your tailbone under a little. Get into those glutes. 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew, okay, get rid of your band. Our first little fun set is over. We're going to drop down and go into a crunch. 10 repetitions. Keep your feet on the ground. Rest your head in your hands. Go ahead and make sure that you take that natural low back arch toward the ground. So we want to tuck it in. You tuck it in by contracting through the abdomen, pulling the low back in, belly button down. You're going to exhale and lift, inhale and lower. You're focused on the abdomen doing all the work. As you lower, make sure you're not relaxing. A lot of times we end up releasing the abdomens, releasing our flexion at the bottom. 9 and 10. All right. Bring it up. We're going to get into that kettlebell. So grab your dumbbells or kettlebell. I'm just going to go with the 35-pound today. I'm going to keep my repetitions just a little quicker. And to be honest, I'm sore from our hit day, all those jumps, all the plyometrics. All right, so bring your weight up, belly strong, toes straight ahead. We're going to drop into our squat, sink nice and deep. Make sure you're pushing your hips back. 2, drive up through the heels. 4, keep the belly strong and the chest lifted. 6, 7, your knees open wide with the toes. 9, 10, drop the weight, and you're going to go into your deadlift. 1, 2. Even though it doesn't feel super heavy, you can practice self-flexion, pushing into the muscle on your own without that extra added resistance of the weight, depending on what you chose to deadlift. 8, 9, 10. Okay, set that down. We're going lateral taps. So you're going to start in the middle. One leg stays down underneath your body. Other leg extends. Tap, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 8, 9, 10. Back onto the ground. Hit those crunches. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. We actually want to relax our glutes in our crunch so that we're using all of that flexion from the abdomen to keep the pelvic tuck. 8, 9, 10. All right. Back to our goblet squat. Make sure with your squat, your knees are staying back behind your toes, so they're not edging forward past your toes. Means you end up putting a lot of weight back in the caboose. Get your butt sticking back. 9, lock the core. 10, at the top, you get that solid stack. Inhale down, exhale up. Feel the body contract. Push into the move. 9, 10. Perfect. All right. All we're going to do is get that jump lunge or the lateral tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Back down, third round, and then we get our last set of work. Rest your head in your hands. Pack that back in. Tuck the tailbone using the core. Exhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Put the grab, put the burn where you want it. Focus on that heat. Flexion. 9 and 10. All right. Always fun to get a little bonus. See if you can get up off the ground without using your hands. Why not? All right. Last set. Hit up those squats. Make them count. Knees wide with the toes. Tracking. Feel like you're screwing your heels into the ground. 4, 5. Can you get your core to lock a little deeper? Totally lost count. I'm feeling the work. 1 more. 10. All right, deadlift. Lock it in. You only have to go so far down as you feel you can keep your back long and flexed and flat. So you're hinging from your hip creases. Feel the hamstrings lengthen. Opening the chest. 8. Using the glutes to pack and stack. Last one. 10. All right. Lateral taps. Lock and load that core. Extend. Small little reach on that opposite arm to help get that range of motion and mobility through the mid back. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, stand at the back of your mat. Hinge over those legs. Bend your right knee and then your left. Our timing is amazing. Very excited. we will have time to get all 3 rounds in our last set. So we're going to start off with a Ticktock plank. Elbows will go down. You rotate your hips side to side. If that doesn't work for you, you will stay in your hands and knees and get these little accordion crunches. So pull with those obliques. Here we go. Find your plank first. Bring your body forward and then rotate. 1, 2. Again, this is really good for the mobility in your thoracic spine. Keep your upper back still and stable, making sure that it's not rotating side to side. And 10. Okay, we're going to go lunges. I'm going to use my 1 kettlebell. If my left leg's forward, my right arm's going to hold the weight. Try to go for range. You're going to push through that front heel because we want to feel the front glute. Super basic moves today. Super effective. Building glutes, building legs. This is 10. Square off the hips. The hips like to rotate. The knee likes to fall in. The back likes to round. Figure out where your body wants to cheat. And then back off, readjust, reset, and get it done right. No cheating. 9 and 10. All right, we're going to hit up a jump lunge. We're going to do 10 per side. If you do not jump lunge, you can just lunge and shuffle switch. Ready? Here we go. Feel those thighs contract to absorb and then flex to jump. 9, 10. All right, there's 1. Back to our Ticktock plank. Ready? And go. Remember, the flex is up to you. 9, 10. Try not to get lost in the number or the moving parts. Find stability. Set up your form. Here we go, lunges. Square off the hips. That knee stays behind the toes. Work into that front glute. Hinge a lot. Woo! 8, 9, 10. That little adjustment I made it a little tougher. Leaning forward over that front leg a bit adds a little more push and drive. Less on that back leg. That's what we want. Check the core, upper back. 9 and 10. All right, jump lunges. Can you go full range? Nine, 10. All right, last round. Ticktock planks. Set it up, lock it in, rotate and rotate. 2, 3, 4. Find your obliques, find the front of the belly. Pull as much as you can around that belly button. 9, 10. Back into our lunges. Squared off hips. Make sure you have that long lunge, toes straight ahead. Flex into that thigh. 8, 9, straighten the leg, but don't lock out the knee. So it's a quad grab along with that glute. Figure out how to make it tougher. 5, 6, core. Lock through the glute. Okay, this one, push and step forward. Whew. All right. Finally feeling shaky legs. Here we go. Jump lunge, full range. Ten. Woo. Nice job. Oh, that's awesome. Hinge over those legs. Well done. Bend that right knee. Bend the left. Again, right and left. All right. Have your band handy. We're going to use that to help stretch. We're going to start off seated on the ground. Pull the toes up and see if you can get the backs of your knees pushing toward the ground while still having a tall chest. So make sure that you're not collapsing. If you're collapsing, plant your hands behind, or maybe even grab a towel or a little bolster, a pillow to sit up on. So you want to be able to sit nice and high. If you do not need your hands behind you, lift up. See if you can feel where your pelvis is at. Make sure it's not tucking under, right? Or arching forward. Set it neutral. You have sits bones. They call them sits bones. The bottom of your pelvis. Find it there. Mosquito. Got it. Don't mess with me. All right. Lift up high. Find those sits bones. And then exhale slowly. Hinge forward. Reach. It's like somebody's pulling your hands. Pulling, pulling, pulling. At the same time, you're contracting your back because you don't want those arms pulled out of the socket. Keep reaching and then just stop your hands wherever they like to go. Take 3 deep breaths. There's 1, 2. Pull your kneecaps up toward your hips. So that's going to engage your quads and you should feel a little more space in your hamstrings. Walk your hands back. So if you're contracting your antagonist muscle, then the other one will stretch deeper, right? So we're trying to stretch our hamstrings. The antagonist is the quad. If you pull those quads and contract, you'll get more lengthening through the hamstrings. Pretty fun. Okay, roll it down. Grab that band I told you to have ready, and let's loop it around our left foot. Okay, so push into that band. The tighter, the better, actually. Okay, so see if you can open behind the knee. Now then check your hip. All right, so a lot of times I see those hips roll up off the ground. But again, it's not about what's going on or the movement or the place of the appendage that's moving. It's what you're doing and what the goal and purpose are. So right here, our goal and purpose are hamstring. So maybe your leg is way out here to be straight. That's okay. Try to find that hamstring. If you don't feel the hamstring, you're just feeling the calf or the back of the knee, bend slightly into the knee, then start pulling your leg back until you feel the hamstring. So sometimes a bent knee is actually helpful, and that's fine. But keep your pelvis stable, neutral. Even if you have no idea what that feels like right now, I promise, as you listen to me say it all the time, and as you learn a little bit more about your body through doing the sessions every day, you'll figure it out. It's really pretty awesome and fascinating how much we start to be able to connect with the body, feel the body, and know it. And that's huge for as we age. You can feel if something's just off. You can spot check. Listen to your gut, your instincts. They usually are pretty smart and know what's going on. All right, so we're stretching behind that hamstring or in the hamstring again. The more that you contract that quad, the more you'll feel the hamstring relax and stretch. Okay, we're gonna lengthen your right leg onto the ground. Put your band in your right hand, put your left hand out at an angle, straight away from you with your palm on the ground. Pull on that band and slowly lower the leg over to the right as far as it wants to go. You don't need to force it. Once it's kind of as far as it wants to go, you need to relax through the back, the upper back, and the shoulder. So our mobile point, remember, is our mid back. That hip is rolling up, and we're getting a good pull through the IT band here. The IT band can get very tight. If you have knee trouble, a lot of times it's because your IT band is a bit on the fritz. One more deep breath. Hopefully you all are getting your breath work done daily for our October challenge. Especially if you haven't done breath work in the past. Okay, switch your legs. You could be pretty amazed. Again, this comes into understanding and realizing what the body's feeling and connecting with the body. But you might be amazed at how much less you feel your blood pressure rise, or how much more capable you are in difficult situations of staying calm, patient, having better function of your brain, because you've taken a few minutes to just breathe deep, let your brain kind of empty, focus on breath. If you haven't been doing it, I highly recommend it. You do not need to do anything fancy. You don't have to have an app, but if you'd like to have an app, of course, grab one. I like to just sit outside in a comfortable chair, close my eyes, feel the breeze, feel the heat, feel the cool, whatever it is that you feel, smell, taste, hear. I kind of go through my senses, notice my breath, feel it entering and leaving my lungs, my belly, nose, throat. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. It doesn't have to take long. All right. Extend your left leg long. Put your band in your left hand. If you're like me, though, in 2 minutes, you're breathing, you're doing your breath work, and then the next thing you know, it's been 10 minutes and you kind of dozed off. So be careful. You might just get relaxed enough that you enjoy a little cat nap. Reach that right arm away, flex through your quad, feel that hip and low back stretch. Fantastic job today. Very basic, very doable moves, but they add up. It's kind of fun to go back to basics. Just stay consistent. All right, bend your knee, roll it in. We're going to grab a super quick figure 4. So cross your right ankle over your left knee, pull deep, and then switch. Pull deep, and then we're done. Nice work, everybody. Way to stay with it, and I'll see you again tomorrow.